GM, GM. Trade of the day. So WorldCoin actually has one of the better profiles here. Funding isn't crazy on it. I think some people are actually trying to fade this. Funding's declining as price goes up. Because it's been historically, WorldCoin has been a bit of a cock. A lot of people are trying to already fade this, but this is fucking mega strong, right? And it's now hit the old listing level. So there's a good pivot to work on of Binance Spot. There'd be a low time frame level I'd be looking at on the hourly or on the 4 hour. You can see here how it's acting as resistance currently. I'd like to see probably price reclaiming above that and holding for it to continue. If it did that, plus if we had, let me put these on. Yeah, it's holding the 1 hour trend. The 4 hour trend's still intact too. Hasn't even touched the 4 hour bands yet. I would still like to wait for the 4 hour bands to get touched, but with this level, and we know how these listing levels can act as key turning points, I'd like to see price showing that it's going to get back above that again. Otherwise, it could be a place where there's a logical top. And yeah, overall, like we've even got negative funding on some exchanges. Bybit's not going crazy. Binance up a little bit. Yeah, I don't think people fully believe WorldCoin yet. And it makes sense, right? Because every time there's been a move on WorldCoin, any move up, fully rejected. The listing pump bleeding for 2 months. So I get it. And it's a tricky one to trade because it's got, pretty much up only for whatever number of days. I would look at it from this perspective and say this breakaway candle, I would expect that to get held. And if it does come back down, there's a gap here that you can see. So the volume gap that got left behind from right here, right? From the high of this candle to the low of this one. That gap will probably stay if it's bullish, but price could come down and sweep into it. Right, so I could see price coming down, consolidating here, sweeping into that, and then going higher if it's going to take a lengthier reaccumulation. That's if it doesn't just continue with impulse right now. For it to continue with impulse right now, it probably you're still at the stage with WorldCoin where there needs to be some consolidation. So if there's a strong reversal today and it closes up here, you're still then looking for it to spend a few days consolidating at higher levels before then having another leg. Because it's just gone up, right? It's just up, and it has to stop at some point. And then we'll see from there, is there any, anything to back it up for a continuation rally? I think also too, the problem with WorldCoin is no one really knows how to value it. Because on one hand, it's like 50 billion fully diluted value, so it's super expensive from one perspective. But also, if it's like fucking the altcoin, the crypto project of Sam Altman, and he's trying to raise like $7 trillion for OpenAI, then valuations can get thrown out the window with something like WorldCoin. So do people think this can be like a $500 billion project? I mean, it's not crazy to say that in crypto. It's not worth that in my opinion. And it's going to end up just being a hype job that goes nowhere. But you can see why with the AI narrative how reality will detach. Where is my main list? Here we go. Because AI's been moving quite a bit over the weekend as well. So WorldCoin basically fits into AI. It's proof of humanity. Scanning your eyeballs and fucking giving you UBI stimmy checks and stuff. as much as none of us really want that, it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a demand. There is clearly a demand. There's millions of people scanning their eyeballs. So if you're looking at like actual adoption, it's one of the biggest projects out there. So you don't want to be closed-minded to it. Render with a nice breakout and holding. BitTensor had a bit of a sell-off, but into the bands and is holding. WorldCoin, obviously, a nice move. Akash, really nice breakout, pullback, and just consolidating nicely now. Ocean with a big breakout. That had been building up for a while. We had this sort of double top and almost like a triangle pattern. That breakout should hold. That's a pretty solid level there. I'd expect it maybe to consolidate around this level, push on after. Fetch took out its highs. So, and AGIX, finally, after months of being a cuck, has pumped up again. So AI is really on the move. AI is on the move. A lot of that driven by the new ChatGPT SOSA thing, or whatever you call it, Sora. So my approach now with AI broadly would be obviously already holding a cash and expecting that to keep going. I would now want to see some consolidation on these for continuation. Let's say you like Ocean. After such a breakout with that really nice level there, and the nice kind of triangle compression that it was moving into, that breakout should really stick, and I would want to see it consolidate up here for a while to then have continuation. Otherwise, if it's just a fucking yet another scam pump, it's just going to bleed all the way back down. And there is going to be a lot of that for some of these AI projects, because a lot of them just don't have anything behind them. They're not, they're just total fucking vapor. But the good ones will continue. And you can see that, from things like Akash. And actually, I want to check the Akash Bitcoin chart, sorry, and then we'll go from here. So this is so impressive to me because Bitcoin has been, especially in the past couple of weeks, Bitcoin has gone from like 40K, 39K, all the way to 52. So Bitcoin's been on a big run, and AKT has just consolidated more bullish all the way. That's just, to me, a nice chart. I'd expect probably for that to break out now soon, as it's been consolidating now for 6 or 7 weeks, 6 weeks maybe. So that's setting up nicely. AI as a whole seems to be the place to focus. Don't forget don't forget it's a Sunday, right? We've had a weekend. We've had weekend pumps across AI. I'm not opening any long positions here. I'm waiting, and especially what I said with daily levels. There's definitely been some people chasing into longs, but it looks like if we do get some kind of dip to start the week or a dip next week, it could be a good time for buying up dips on AI coins. We could see that. But you need to give it a little bit of time, because what you want to know is, has the trend ended, right? Like say WorldCoin, where this is grinding up, trending up, trending up. Has that trend ended to where now it has to go into a period of distribution, right, and make its way all back down and then reaccumulate and go again? Or is this the beginning, right, where it's breaking up higher and then going to set up consolidation at a higher level before a break higher, right? I still think in either way, I don't expect it to go up right from now. So I think if you're bullish, you want to wait for some kind of consolidation to form. And obviously, if it's bearish, allow it to just bleed out. And if it starts to bleed, if you start to see 3, 4, 5 days of weakness across AI, you just want to step back and leave it. There should be some kind of general strength that comes in. And not so much on like, the ones I look at is BitTensor, Akash, and Render, because they're like the most legit projects that are currently there. And so if they keep being strong, then it's usually a good sign for AI as a whole. So that's it. GM. See you all later on the live stream.